Let's stop talking about in-market car shoppers. We're going to expose why in-market car buyers are a problem and how you can get ahead by focusing on something else.
Hey, I'm Travis Miller.
And this is Jimmy V.
And this is the show that helps you build a better dealership.
That's right, T. That's what we focus on. It's building a better dealership and ESP, a business and life that's enjoyable, simple, and prosperous. And today, we're diving into this myth, or at least it's a myth now, of in-market car shoppers. And we're telling everyone, stop it. Stop talking about in-market car shoppers and stop focusing on these people. And we're going to get into why that is and why it's going to hold you back this year if you continue to do that.
There really has developed an unhealthy obsession and addiction with in-market car shoppers. And it's become sort of like a religion almost, like this, like a fervent belief that dealerships should only market to people who are actively shopping for a car. And and as though that's somehow the most valuable customer there is. And on the surface, it sounds like a relatively, reasonable argument. Like, yeah, why would you want to spend money advertising to people who aren't shopping if you can advertise to people who are shopping? There are a few problems with that, though. And the first problem is that it completely overlooks the idea, or the big idea, I should say, what we call the miracle of the car business, which is that everybody wants a nicer, newer car, period. Everybody's a potential customer. We don't have to wait for people to decide on their own that now is a good time to buy a car to potentially influence them into the purchase. Point being, like, everybody's always some reasonable proximity away from potentially upgrading the vehicle. Obviously, people won't buy unless they choose to buy. They have to make the final choice. But a lot of people are just sort of artificially on the sidelines. Like, they would like a nicer, newer car, but they're not out there doing anything about it right now. And because there's this obsession with only marketing to and talking to in-market shoppers, they're not part of the conversation. And so it creates a wide open opportunity to put your message in front of people who are like potential near-term intenders instead of active shoppers, and reach them for significantly less and convert them at a higher rate and retain better margins in the process because they don't exhibit the typical active shopper behavior.
You know, we've been focusing on what we would call non-intenders, or we call sleeping buyers for our entire career, because we have found that by focusing on these non-intenders that we're able to move people into the market because of the miracle of the car business, because a vehicle is an emotional purchase. And because at any given time, life changes and attitudes change and preferences change and desire is there for a nicer, newer car, you can take people where the car isn't done yet. Like, no one really waits until the lifespan of their vehicle is used up completely before they get a new vehicle. That is not the way most people drive a vehicle and trade and buy a vehicle and trade in a vehicle. It's just not how it works. That's if they did, there would be no used car market. But we know the used car market is enormous. And that is because people are trading in and trading up vehicles all the time, which means they are only, as Travis, you said earlier, they're only a step away from being a shopper, an intender, an active shopper at any given point in time. They just need to be bumped into the idea that now is the time to start thinking about it or looking at it, or now could be a good time to get a good deal on a nicer, newer car. And when you focus on the in-market buyer, you're missing those people. Now, let's talk about why maybe you might be focused on the in-market buyer. Now, it's been talked about in marketing circles that your advertising is more effective if you are communicating with in-market buyers. But the problem in the automotive business around this idea is that vendors have used the idea and used technology to create some mysterious black box that determines when someone is a in-market buyer. And they figured out that they could charge you more money for those leads, and they do. And so then that actually goes against the idea that you're going to spend less marketing dollars marketing to in-market shoppers than you would if you spent marketing to non-in-market buyers.
Yeah, this is a rather challenging and controversial idea, but that's nothing new for us. But the idea of in-market shoppers, that's really a product that was designed to sell to dealerships more than an important, valuable component in the marketing process. It's not necessary. It adds additional cost. It decreases optionality and differentiation. It decreases margins, compresses margins, and it's really not good for anybody in the process except for the company selling the data. Right.
This is a product of data, big data, to get more money out of dealerships. You actually can, for less money, generate first-party leads by focusing on both in-market buyers and non-intenders, or what we call close intenders, and moving those people into the market by showing them that you provide a service, a value, and that you can help them get the nicer, newer car that they're looking for. And that's what we do all the time, every day with dealerships in our programs. And it just frustrates us to no end that for so long there's been a stranglehold on the market with this false narrative that in-market buyers are the premium buyer, the premium lead, and they come at premium cost.
Hey, you know what? A great analogy to this is like the myth of the filet mignon, right? The filet mignon, the king of steaks, is the most expensive cut at the butcher, right? Most expensive cut at the grocery store, but it's not the best. And so, like, I always marvel at people who will pay more for a filet mignon steak when you could have paid a lot less and gotten a New York strip or a ribeye right there and make it, quite honestly, better, more flavorful, more enjoyable than the filet mignon. But people have just been led to believe something else. And this happens all over. This repeats itself in our life. You know, we're all consumers and everybody wants to sell something and make a buck. And in this case, the data is the product that's being sold and dealerships are the consumers, but you don't have to be. There's a way around it. And that's what we do every day over at betterdealerships.com at Facebook. It's a Facebook group, and at richdealers.com, which is the boutique service that we provide working with dealerships all around the country that helps them bypass myths like these and get to making a business and a life that's enjoyable, simple, and prosperous. It's better for everybody involved, simply put. And one of the ways we do it is by getting around nonsense ideas like, you have to pay a premium to only reach in-market shoppers. Simply not true.
Tell us what you think about this idea in the comments. We'd love to hear you weigh in on this conversation here and at betterdealerships.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, and we'll see you next time. Until then, stay classy.